Steve Shives found another one of those questions for atheists things that Christians write, and they're always fun, so here are my answers. Number 1. How did you become an atheist? Religion was never a prominent part of my family life when I was growing up. My parents believed in God, but the existence of God was treated as trivial and inconsequential, so at first I never thought about it much. Nobody ever told me, you can't do this or that, because God. I never questioned it at first, because you don't usually question assertions that are of little consequence for your life. But the moment I realized that there was any controversy regarding the existence of God, his non-existence immediately seemed to make more sense. Religious folks will sometimes say that atheists deny God because they just want to sin, but I questioned God's existence before I was ever even familiar with the concept of sin. Number 2, what happens when we die? The same thing that happens to a song when you stop playing it. Number 3, what if you're wrong, and there is a heaven, and there is a hell? If I'm wrong, I'll probably go to hell. But if I try to manipulate myself into believing in God, not because I find God's existence credible, but rather because I think it would be good for me to do so, would I really deserve to get into heaven? Number 4, without God, where do you get your morality from? My conscience. Number 5, if there is no God, can we do what we want? Are we free to murder and rape, while good deeds are unrewarded? Clearly not. Bad deeds often have bad consequences, and good deeds often have good ones. Sometimes the bad go unpunished and the good go unrewarded, but I think this is the exception rather than the rule. Number 6, if there is no God, how does your life have any meaning? What does meaning mean? Do you mean how does life have purpose? Life has whatever purpose you want it to have. You can apply yourself to any purpose you choose. I keep hearing people say that God created us to love him and to glorify him, but what the fuck is the point of that? I really just don't understand why that needs to be done, or even why that's worth doing. That's the lamest meaning I've ever heard. Number 7, where did the universe come from? It didn't necessarily come from anywhere. The preposition from implies some spatial or temporal relationship. If all time and space are contingent upon the existence of the universe, asking where the universe came from doesn't even make any sense. There isn't anything outside of the universe with which the universe can have such a spatial or temporal relationship. Number 8, what about miracles? What all the people who claim to have a connection with Jesus? What about those who claim to have seen saints or angels? What about them? What about any other anecdotal claim? People claim to have seen or experienced all kinds of weird shit. If these claims can't be tested, I don't see why I should take them seriously merely because they are numerous. Number 9, what's your view of Dawkins, Hitchens and Harris? How come Dennett got left out? I think they all make some great points, and they all say things that I think are very silly. Number 10, if there is no God, then why does every society have a religion? I think our first attempt at understanding nature involved assuming that it had some kind of consciousness that could be bargained with or pleaded with, and today's theistic religions are the vestigial remnants of that initial hypothesis.